Let's take a stroll down Hypocrisy Boulevard, shall we? First and foremost, we got old Uncle Joe out there when he's not getting a terminal case of brain freeze, because what else could possibly be behind his mental decline? Anyways, well, when he tweets out, okay, or is his administration, because I don't even know if he knows how to tweet or he's just still wooed by this magical piece of glass that has, I press the buttons and there's no buttons. Where's the click? I remember my phone used to have a click. The one at home, it's got a big wheel and a dial, and in it goes whenever I want to make a phone call to get some more corn pop. He was a bad dude. So they've been going, dark Brandon mode. Have you guys heard of this? Because, yeah, they were, at least the big tech, conglomerate was trying to push this whole really cringe narrative. Because if even Rolling Stone magazine is already throwing you under the bus, it's got to be pretty bad. The dark Brandon meme has died from a terminal case of cringe. You might be wondering because you might be like a regular person and you don't live on the internet, and I appreciate that, and you're a better person for it. But Dark Brandon, okay, probably you know all about the Let's Go Brandon meme, but let's just bring everybody's mind back to, I think that was last year at some point. I think around like October or something. It was the fall of last year, right? There was a NASCAR guy. He won his first race of the season. His name was Brandon something or other, and it was at this time college football games and a whole bunch of other sporting events when people were finally getting back together on a mass scale. Okay, they were chanting "fuck Joe Biden," and bless her heart, the little sideline reporter interviewing the winner of the race said, "Oh, you can hear them in the stands. Let's go, Brandon," when they're clearly going "fuck Joe Biden, fuck Joe Biden." And she thought, at least she heard in her earpiece, just say, I'll just say that's let's go Brandon, because we don't want to have to acknowledge the fact that the president is about as popular as a case of terminal pancreatic cancer. And so that's permeated for a long time. You see it probably in quite a few TradCon spaces where they have the little comment section on the side, and there's a lot of LGB, Let's Go Brandon abbreviations, or FJB, fuck Joe Biden, all that kind of stuff, okay? Getting your emotions and your feels out in the comment section. I understand it might feel good, but it doesn't really, matter in the grand scheme of things. But no, co-opting this a little bit earlier this month, which is just big fucking weird to begin with. Okay, there was a meme that immediately went around, and I'll just pull it up here because I didn't know we were going down this road. I just thought we were going to talk about the FBI and how corrupt as fuck they are, but we're here for it. There we go. Somebody went to all the trouble to try to sell this fucking dog shit. I can't believe it, but it's so apropos because that's the last. It's a play on Dark Knight Rises. Okay, and again, so Dark Brandon Rises. It's got not Trump. Jesus Christ, he wishes he was that cool. This is all this play on this, right? Because it just probably came from. It's a repurposed meme from fucking 4chan. And I'll get into that in a moment because obviously you take a look at some of the iconography in the background, it makes total fucking sense, but I'll elaborate on that in a moment. But they seen all the memes that ended up backfiring, say that Trump was a god emperor, the mega king. How many times you have to go and just realize that we're kind of getting our ass kicked on the social media front. You know what'll really work? Co-opting the objectively worst of the Dark Knight trilogy from Christopher Nolan, okay, co-opting that poster, slapping a Nazi eagle in the background instead of the Batman logo in the back, giving Biden a fucking beard, which actually looks a little bit better with a beard and an eye patch because you're just completely fucking out of touch. You thought that this would take off. It's ridiculous. Still using the malarkey will end. It's not cool. It's never been fucking cool. And if anybody bought one of these fucking nonsensical horseshit fucking posters, you're as low IQ as it gets. But no, all of that's fine. All of that's fine because what's it supposed to be in service of? Joe Biden's mean streak? I don't really fucking know what he's going on with here because, okay, it started to take off at the administration level because it always does, because Biden couldn't be reached for comment because he sleeps like a cat 20 hours a fucking day. The Washington Post has published a glowing profile on Friday of the official White House account, suggesting that mean tweets, once a key point of criticism against President Trump, are now great. Okay, make tweets great again, right? Oh yes, because all of big tech social media is on your side. That's fine. There's a beautiful parallel economy being created off in the distance, and you guys aren't allowed on it. Fuck off. But the Washington Post noted approvingly that normally boring White House official Twitter feed decided to hit back. It decided to clap back. How fucking lame. Against critics of Biden's massive student loan bailout by attacking those who had obtained a Paycheck Protection Program loan during the pandemic and whose loans have been forgiven. Can you fucking imagine correlating the two? Okay, forgiving $10,000 in student loan for somebody who got a fucking worthless degree and can't pay back their overwhelming amount of student loans. We have common ground when it comes to that. Student loan debt is substantive, and the laws surrounding it, the fact that you can't claim bankruptcy, okay, off the back of that, that's something. And how expensive university is, that should be the greater question here, because if you're just going to be forgiving $10,000 of student loans for people, what is that going to be doing for the people that are just entering college and university right now? Anybody in the right now who's paid off their student loans, okay, what are you doing with them? Oh, just leaving them with the bag, okay? Why don't you just address, all of the endowments that are given by the federal government that end up by proxy raising the tuition costs at university? Oh, wait, you don't want to dig that deep, okay? You just want to make people feel a certain way right now and just feel like they're getting free money. Unbelievable. Don't address the real problem. It's just all about how I feel right now. But yes, just try to correlate that. That's the point I was trying to make. I ended up going off on a tangent anyways, but no. Trying to correlate student loan debt, okay, something that you willingly take on for yourself, as opposed to PPP loans that are forgiven for businesses that were shut down by the government. Okay, cool. Again, it's just not a corollary that you can draw in good faith, but the White House saying that Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene had $183,500 in PPP loans forgiven. Wow, imagine that. She had businesses. She comes from Georgia, I do believe. Georgia was shut down for a small amount of time. It was one of the first states to open back up during the early days of the pandemic. So she had to take out Paycheck Protection Program loans in order to cover the expenses of the business that were shut down by the government. Okay, what's the problem with that? Both sides did this, but oh right, you guys don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's things to legitimately point at her and say that she's kind of retarded, okay? But to hit her on this, you just look petty and stupid. And if we just take a look at the other side, I don't know what to say. You're just not engaging in good faith. The Post noted that these tweets had since gone viral. Can you imagine? It's gone viral. It's got, 800,000 likes. Cool. From the official White House account. I'm sure that there's no collusion there at all whatsoever, right? Absolutely zero. But we'll get into what the FBI's been up to later. Anyways, the Post noted that the tweets of the White House have succeeded in changing the conversation. Everybody's already forgot about it, okay? And for those of you who are out there, Twitter's a small fucking platform, okay? It might be big for the Post, okay? It might be big for politicians, but everyday individuals, they're not online like that. So stop it. You're just hurting yourself. But they've succeeded in changing the conversation. They did not go unnoticed. Democrats responded with enthusiasm. Yeah, of course, because that's attacking their political opponents and it's giving them free stuff, okay? They think that they're exposing their hypocrisy, but if the White House was actually doing their job, they'd go back after they'd go after Democrats instead of exclusively Republicans, but it's just a little bit too inconvenient. With nearly 200,000 people retweeting the thread and almost 700,000 liking liking it as of Friday afternoon. Okay, making it one of the White House's highest ever engagement tweets. Okay, cool. One of the highest engagement tweets ever. Okay, it's changed the conversation. We can just, for posterity's sake, go to the White House account here. I've got complete and total confidence that it's going to look exactly how I anticipate it. Okay, cool. Borrowers. Oh, this one's from 2 hours ago. Okay, look at the engagement on that one. Really changing the conversation here. Okay, you got a graph. Yep, no, everything seems to be back to normal. Black student loan debt, yeah, of course, cool. Oh, it continues to tick up. Oh, this one's from 20 hours ago. It's got a picture of some vaguely ethnic woman and Joe Biden at a table. It's got 13,000 likes. Ain't quite anything close to that 800,000 that you have there. You got Miguel Cardona. Yep, nope, you got a whole bunch of nothing. But yo, yeah, you decided to dunk on a Republican. Oh my God, Mike Kelly almost had $1 million forgiven. Matt Gaetz had $500,000, but I thought he was like a sex trafficker or something. You guys were going to try to shut him down. Oh wait, how well did that work? Anyways, back to what else the White House was doing in failure. Oh, you do not have to agree with student loan forgiveness to agree that this is pretty impressive response from the White House, wrote Miles Taylor, a former Trump official who have since left the Republican Party. Oh, so a rhino, what was fucking John Kasich not available for comment? Fuck off. You really got a Republican there. You really got him. The Post, like the rest of the establishment media, not only attacked Trump's tweets, but tried to hold the other Republicans accountable for them in 2021. The Post applauded Twitter's decision to ban Trump from the platform. Yeah, of course, because it's not what they do, okay? What they do is fine, okay? But it's what the other side does, okay? That's why, taking the advice of Elon Musk that Republicans need to be nicer, fuck you. Stay over there. Go to Mars and whatever, I don't know, just fuck a few more ladies and just pump out a couple more kids. Just do whatever you're fucking good at. We'll be over here fighting the culture war. You just pump another fucking crypto and then just dump it on live air and then have your Chinese Weibo account as simping for the CCP. Whoopsie daisy. Anyways, now let's get into some different type of collusion, because the FBI has come out and not exactly strong opposition to what Zuckerberg was saying on Joe Rogan, admitting that the FBI came to their offices, okay? Came and spoke with them to suppress Hunter Biden information, and they were all too willing to do it. He's just the first, head of one of these tech conglomerates to come out and say that he acquiesced to their demands. You'd have to believe if they went to Zuckerberg, they also would have went to Sundar Pichai, head of Google, okay? Jack Dorsey would have been the head of Twitter at that time, and oh yeah, isn't that fairly fucking obvious? Okay, Twitter has done a whole bunch of shady shit, but they also locked the New York Post, who broke the Hunter laptop story. They locked them out of their account, and anybody who was retweeting the original Post story also got locked out of their account because it was Russian disinformation, right? Until it conveniently wasn't, after Joe Biden won the election. FBI responds to Zuckerberg's claim it helped suppress Hunter Biden laptop story. The FBI has responded to the explosive claim by Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg that Facebook algorithmically censored Hunter Biden's laptop story ahead of the 2020 election after receiving a warning from the agency about Russian propaganda. Oh, you just love to see the FBI in action, just engaging in misinformation and disinformation. I'll just go ahead and keep it a stack on this one. Lying to the people, okay? We have a certain amount of information we want to keep to ourselves. You guys, you need to know the other stuff. Don't worry about it. We'll keep you on a need-to-know basis. Just continue to discuss race and sex and all that kind of stuff. Not like actual, like fucking hardcore slapping sex, but just like, just gender. Gender, that's a big issue. You plebs just to deal with that, and we'll just be over here in the darkness just working on whatever the fuck we want to. Zuckerberg said on the August 25th episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, exclusively on Spotify, Facebook actively reduced the reach of social media posts discussing Hunter Biden's laptop in response to an advisory from the FBI to some Facebook staffers to be on guard for Russian disinformation ahead of the presidential election. That is very important, because that dog whistle that was immediately sent out by Twitter was heard by all of these other big tech platforms, okay? Because what did they say? It was Russian disinformation. And then Facebook having their ears perked to that situation, okay? Facebook, Meta at large, I don't know if they made the name change yet or just put everything under that umbrella, but Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, for whatever good that is, okay? I don't know much about the platform or how they disseminate information, but those two platforms, it was algorithmically deranked. You couldn't search for anything that was adversarial to Hunter Biden because, he's a private citizen, there's nothing to do there. Okay, what about Chinese and Ukrainian business ties? Shut up. That has nothing to do with that. What about what Trump's doing? Yeah, no, exactly. I get it. The background here is the FBI, I think, basically basically came to some of our folks on our team and we were like, hey, just so you know, I should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. Yeah, Hillary was definitely colluding with Russia. Oh, we thought we have it on notice, and basically there's some kind of dump similar to that, so just be vigilant. Of course, but weren't they also on high alert because they also made another statement? Oh, I remember when that press release came out. Iran is also meddling in the election. You should be very scared of that. Okay, what about DNI Ratcliffe saying that Hillary Clinton actively colluded with Russia? Yeah, and it falsely spread that information about Trump in 2016. That came out at about the same time. Don't investigate that. No, of course not. That's why this story just immediately disappeared into the abyss, because boy did it ever get deranked after it just immediately trended up there as soon as the episode was released, and everybody's like, what the fuck is this shit? And then it just went right off the fucking map. Imagine, just flip the parties when it comes to this one. Zuckerberg came forward and said, yeah, we were told specifically to not report on the grab 'em by the pussy tape in 2016. Okay, so we deranked it. That was out there. It would be on the spinning fucking banner on every single news outlet, and you know that to be goddamn true. Clips featuring Zuckerberg's response to Rogan quickly went viral, prompting a flurry of takes critical of the FBI, as it should be. This is just insane. It's election interference. Well, I would say so. Representative Andrew Clyde, a Republican from Georgia, said in the statement, calling on Zuckerberg to testify before Congress. The fuck is that going to prove, okay? Other than just give us specific names. Specific fucking names. Similarly, scathing take was expressed by Representative Jim Jordan, who does do good fucking work. It's provable, okay? He's doing the best that he can, and he should take over for Kevin McCarthy in the new year, just saying, once everybody gets sworn in. Anyways, the FBI reacts. I want to hear what the FBI's take on this is. As controversy swirled, the FBI issued a statement to the media outlets on Friday saying that its warning to Facebook was general in nature and did not include a call to action. Okay, cool. So you guys did it, though. Okay, cool. So, yeah, funny. The FBI says it routinely notifies U.S. private sector entities. If you're telling them to do this, and then they enact on it, are they really private sector? Or did you just also admit that, yeah, the U.S. is now a fascist state thanks to the connection of the Biden administration and big tech corporations? I'm just saying. I'm just trying to connect some dots here. Including social media providers of potential threat information. Potential threat information. Specific wording on that one. So they can decide how to better defend against threats. Yeah, better decide. You better get rid of that shit. And that the agency has provided companies with foreign threat indicators. Oh, okay, cool. So you provided them with either the software or the manual to how to properly filter out mis- and disinformation. Interesting. Foreign threat indicators to help them protect their platforms and customers from abuse by foreign malign influence actors. Okay. The FBI added, however, it cannot ask or direct companies to take action on information received. Yeah, but you just did. Listen, this is how you do it. These are the tools. Okay, we really want you to pay attention to this information that could be dropping very soonly. Yeah, no, everything's here. And if you guys, want to have this close relationship, I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just saying, we have certain boundaries that we like to enforce over here, and we wouldn't take any big tech company seriously that wouldn't listen to our recommendations. I'm just saying, you guys are free to do whatever you want. Okay. But speaking of which, when it comes to naming specific names, we went over Trump's affidavit from yesterday, released from the FBI, okay? And boy, was there a whole lot of nothing in there. But one thing I read over, and it's like, okay, I guess it didn't really register anything like that, okay? But there was a specific name that was left in there, Kash Patel. I remember going over that because it was a name that I recognized, and it's like, oh yeah, he worked with Trump at the White House. He was part of, I think, a financial group or something like that, or maybe that's just his name that's just making me immediately jump to being in finance or something like that. But he was working with Trump at the White House. That's verifiable. That's true. And his name, of all of the names that are in there, okay, the only other name that's on there is the judge who signed off on this. questions, why was his name not redacted? Okay, it's not like they were at a loss. Okay, maybe their Sharpies were running out, because to be fair, there were pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of redactions, so you couldn't just gloss over that whole Kash Patel gimmick. No. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing here. FBI, man. FBI's weird. Former federal prosecutor. Oh, he's a lawyer, so he should know a thing or two about this. You'd think. On August 26th, denounced federal officials for not redacting his name in a heavily redacted search warrant affidavit. Today marks another vicious attack of the DOJ, FBI, who intentionally jeopardized my safety by unredacting my name in the most reviewed search warrant in the history of the United States. Kash Patel said on a post on Truth Social, the Department of Justice and the FBI did not respond for requests for comment. Funny. Very funny thing about that, because they were too busy taking guilty pleas for something that was apparently fake to begin with? What? 2 people plead guilty in the theft of the diary of Ashley Biden, the daughter of the president. I've talked about that diary once before, mostly because it had admissions in there that Joe Biden was showering with a teenage Ashley Biden. Yeah, nothing fucking weird about that. Okay, 2 people pleaded guilty in a federal court in New York in connection with the theft and sale of the diary and other items belonging to Ashley Biden. Oh no, I thought that was all fake and shit like that. Weird. The daughter of President Joe Biden, the defendants conspired to steal items from Florida and transport them over crossing state lines in 2020 when Ashley's father was the Democratic nominee for the White House. Oh, okay, so the FBI was investigating this the entire time and they didn't want to let that information get out there to the public, exactly what they were going on about? Oh, and they just wanted to say that there's nothing in there of any substantial value and that it was all just falsified Russian disinformation? Fucking weird. The duo shopped the diary to the campaign of then President Donald Trump, which told them to take it to the FBI court records show. Oh, the diary was ultimately sold to right-wing media provocateur Project Veritas, and that's where we're going to transition over to this, because Project Veritas, we talked about them and the good work that they do a multitude of times because it's noteworthy. They do very good work. James O'Keefe is the one of very few quality journalists that are still out there on the beat today. And that's why he's going to have to be, yeeted from public conscience very soonly. Soonly's not a word. Very quickly. FBI sets sight on James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, with Ashley Biden diary conviction. Okay, so if 2 people pleaded guilty in New York, okay, I don't care about their story, and I'll link to the rest of it if anybody else there is interested in it, but this was always just going to be a link in order to get to Project Veritas, okay? If the FBI knew about it, okay, and the FBI was already investigating this stuff, kind of seems like a setup. I'm just saying. The FBI intends to use the guilty plea of 2 defendants Thursday over the theft of Ashley Biden's diary to pursue journalist James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, which reportedly gave the diary to law enforcement in 2020. Wait a minute. On Friday, Robert Kurlander, 58, and Amy Harris, 40, pleaded guilty to stealing the diary of the presidential daughter, which included claims of inappropriate behavior by President Joe Biden and also some story, and I can't quite corroborate it, but it is funny as fuck. Somebody else in that family was also showering with, yes, the first son. Oh boy, nothing to see here, folks. Ashley Biden had reportedly left her diary at the home of a friend's house, and it was sold to Project Veritas. It was her friend Amy Harris? Just wondering. As Breitbart News previously reported, the FBI raided James O'Keefe's private residence in November of 2021, looking for clues. Okay, O'Keefe said the Project Veritas was not involved in any theft and obtained the diary illegally. Yeah, okay, this would be akin. If the FBI is going to be going after James O'Keefe for having stolen property, this would be like going after a pawn shop for possessing stolen property. Okay, if somebody comes up to them and it's like, listen, I got these gold earrings. It's a diamond encrusted wristwatch. Can I get like $500 for it? Okay, you can't hold the pawn shop accountable. Okay, same edict would apply here. And he never even posted anything that was on it. He just said that there was a lot of disturbing content, none of which would be valuable to the public at large. And I can understand it, because outside of just being, kind of reinforcing the narrative that Pedo Peter is the 46th president of the United States, there's nothing really illegal. It's just more salacious TMZ shit, as opposed to what is on Hunter Biden's laptop, which is, of course, Russian disinformation. Of course, we need to remember that, right? Anyways, he also emphasized that Project Veritas did not publish the contents of the diary. Several other places did, but instead had delivered it to law enforcement. Portions were published elsewhere. Don't know how they got them. He says that he's, not put them out to anybody else. But obviously, if this was shopped around to a whole bunch of different locations, I'm just saying, he's not responsible for any of this. The New York Times, who is also being sued successfully somewhat by Project Veritas, by the way, keep that in mind, reported Thursday that Kurlander promised to help the FBI investigate Project Veritas and James O'Keefe. Interesting. So, you plead to the feds, and then you want to start working. Okay. Harrison Kurlander admitted they took part in a conspiracy to transport stolen materials from Florida, where Ms. Biden was living, at a halfway house, right? Wasn't she in and out in rehab again? To New York, where Project Veritas has its headquarters. Prosecutor said Mr. Kurlander agreed as part of a plea deal to cooperate with the Justice Department investigating how the diary was acquired by Project Veritas, whose deceptive operations against liberal groups and traditional news organizations, no bias detected there, made it a favorite of former President Donald J. Trump. I don't know if you know that or not, but okay, weird correlation there. Okay, for anybody who's left reading the New York Times, they already hate Trump. You don't need to ingrain it any further. You're not helping anybody by doing this. U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, oh boy, the SDNY, how adorable, began to investigate in late October of 2020. Okay, cool. And you had to wait for the feds to get involved? Okay. After it was alerted by Ms. Biden's lawyers that Project Veritas had demanded an interview with her father about the contents of the diary, which included embarrassing disclosures about them. Okay, cool. So a media outlet wanted to talk to a presidential candidate. Weird, very strange behavior that we have here. First Amendment jurisprudence has established that news organizations cannot be prosecuted just because they publish materials that have been obtained illegally, as long as they were not involved in the unlawful process of obtaining them. Yeah. So guess what they're going to try to hit Project Veritas on? Oh, we got this guy who's obviously going to, his intention of, selling some stuff that's attached to the Biden family in order to get rich. Oh, yeah, no, they coerced us to bring everything up to New York, so that's crossing state lines, and that's bad. Oh, okay. Key point of contention in the investigation may turn out to be whether Project Veritas was involved in investigating the theft of the diary, or if it simply obtained the diary independently of the process through which it was unlawfully obtained. Yeah, again, if they get it shopped to them, okay, hey, we got the diary of Ashley Biden. Oh, okay, cool. How much do you want for it? That's normally how this shit goes, okay? They got it. They decided not to publish it. They turned it into the authorities. And now they're getting prosecuted for it. I don't know, man. It smells of a setup. But again, that's nothing that the FBI would be involved in at all. Nope, not at all whatsoever. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.